In this video, I'm going to talk about the scapula. This is the shoulder blade. I'm going to go over to the desk and then I'll come back to the articulated skeleton in a minute. So this is a posterior view of the scapula, and this particular one is the right scapula, and I'll tell you how to distinguish left from right in just a minute. This large structure on the posterior side, this is the spine of the scapula. Above the spine, so this little indentation here, this is the supraspinous fossa, and then below the spine is the infraspinous fossa. And then this large projection that comes off of the spine, this is the acromion process. And then here, this process here, which would be more anterior, and I'm going to flip this over in a minute so you can see it, but this would be the coracoid process. And then this indentation here, which is where the humerus would fit in, that is the glenoid cavity, or the glenoid fossa. This is an anterior view. This is the subscapular fossa. And then again, if you look, so the projection off of the spine, that is the acromion process. And then the projection that would be more anterior and a little bit inferior, that is the coracoid process, Now, how can you tell left or right? First of all, you need to have it in, or how I do it anyway, is in the posterior view. So I'm looking at it in the posterior view. I know it's in the posterior view because I can see this large spine. So if I'm looking at it in the posterior view, and the glenoid cavity, which is again where the humerus would fit in, the glenoid cavity is to the right of the spine, then that is the right scapula, because this has to face out so the humerus can fit into it. So let me go get a left one and I'll show you the difference. So here is the left scapula. We're looking at a posterior view. Here's the spine, and the glenoid cavity is to the left of the spine, and this is the left scapula. If you want to look on an articulated skeleton to practice, that's another way to help you. So let's go back over there. So this is a posterior view of an articulated skeleton. Here's the scapula, here's the spine. The glenoid cavity is to the right of the spine. This is the right scapula. Here, the spine of the scapula, the glenoid cavity is to the left of the spine. This is the left scapula.